What is going on, guys? My name is Tyler, and I have Kyler with me, and we are the Weekends Warrior Disc Golf Podcast. What is going on? And welcome again. It is now December 11th, and we're still rolling with the punches. Definitely excited about the end of the year season. A lot of people are wrapping their season up. We've been seeing a lot of stuff on Gravity Disc Golf page saying that they're wrapping their 2024. A lot of people have been hitting their goals. Congratulations to the Gravity Disc Golf team. We're both is very excited that we're actually a part of that squad of the G squad, and just super amazing to see everybody. Somebody on there officially have passed the 900. They're in the 900 club now, so congratulations to them. And also, just a lot of people hitting their goals, and they're saying that this year has been their best year so far. Definitely, I feel more educated on my shots.
Hmm.
That was my whole point this year, was definitely like really focusing on what I need to really focus on and work on. Which obviously still putting is just a mental thing for some reason for me. I do
Hmm.
really well when I'm doing it, but to the camera, but for some reason when I'm in tournament mode, I don't know if it's just the yips or just mentally, I don't know what it is, but definitely I'm just not feeling it for some reason. And but we'll get into that more, and then we'll talk about Kyle's weekend, my weekend, obviously, and then hit a couple other topics. But before we do any of that, I've already mentioned about them, but I want to talk about again about Gravity Disc Golf. We have a beautiful read from them. Kyle actually posted up the page. We actually want to show you guys it because we always talk about it, but now we're gonna actually show you it. But as he's showing you, I'm gonna be talking about Gravity Disc Golf exists to exceed your out of this world expectation with unparalleled custom designs, disc and apparel. Gravity is creating an atmosphere where disc golfers can enjoy every aspect of disc golf while blasting off with space themed designs, no matter what you throw. Gravity has designs on almost every manufacturer and can make your game look great. They offer free shipping on orders over $75, and John includes a very nice note to each customer. Make sure to check them out at gravitydiscgolf.com to complete your bag. And let me tell you, it's out of this world. Definitely use code KG10 or TIE DG10 to get off 10% off your next order. So, as he's showing you right now, some great apparel. As you see, those top two things. Obviously, Alden Harris is actually a part of Gravity Disc Golf. So you get his signature headband that he loves to wear. Also, these are the prints we're talking about right here. We have some amazing prints, obviously all space themed design. Absolutely. I mean, I've told even Kyle this way before we even got on the team. I go, there's only per, one actual team out there that I actually would be a part of, and that's Gravity Disc Golf because of the designs. It definitely fits my flow. This is who I am. Also, they still have Black Friday deals happening right now. Still on selective disc, but obviously they still have some beautiful sales happening as of right now. Definitely grab those. You have the link, obviously, you see the P1s, the Reiko, some Justice. That's a great mid range, by the way, if you haven't got your hands off of it. And then also, if you go all the way down, they actually still have some signature Isaac Robinson disc. So they might
Hmm.
actually be worth a little bit if he actually does leave. So definitely go check them out by yourself. Like I said, it's gravitydiscgolf.com. Use code KG10 or TIE DD10 and you'll get 10% off your next order. But before we get fully into it, I just want to talk to you, Kyle. How has been your weekend? What has been up? How are you doing? What is going on?
I'm doing all right. I went and played a round with my dad and two other guys. He's been out of commission for a couple months. He had surgery, so he hasn't been able to play disc golf at all. But he went back to work. He was cleared, and he went back to work on Monday. And on Sunday, it was 50 degrees here. And as he said, I want to throw some kind of disc before it gets too cold again. I'm like, no problem. Let's go do it. We went and played around, and it was good. I threw just out of curiosity, I threw all my Discmania disc only. So I only had
Nice.
FDs, my links, my P2s, the FD3, and two PDs and a DD3. That's all I had to play with. but I finally did it.
You did what?
I finally got an ace on hole
Oh,
on hole 17 or hole 20. Sorry, hole 20 technically.
yeah.
Old hole
So that was the
17
one that you have a whatchamacallit, you have a
video.
video on it. So
Yes,
you've been working on it. So yeah, let's break it down. How did that happen? Like did you have a tee box when you did it?
I
Were you
did
like
have a tee box. I walked up, put my bag down, grabbed a link because, as I even said in my previous video, I just posted up on Monday. If you haven't
yep,
watched it, go check it out.
it's amazing.
I was talking about in that video that holy cow, these links fly so nice. I
Hmm.
really like the way these fly. The one guy I was playing with goes, "All right, guys, let's get some chains here." And I'm like, "All right." So I grabbed the link. I'm no hesitation. I just grabbed the link out of the bag, walk up to the back. No, didn't aim or anything. Just walked up and said, "All right." Just gradually just went through it. Perfect hyzer around the tree.
Mm.
I'm like, "Oh, that could go in." And it goes in, and I just turn around and go like this. And there it is in the basket. He's like, go get that out of the basket, clean it up. And then the next guy that threw, he actually skipped and hit underneath the basket. So we almost had double ace back to back. But yes,
Dang.
no, it was super smooth throw, really nice. Finally ace that hole. That's my third or fourth ace this year. That's feels pretty good.
Well,
I'm
they
going
say
to like,
once you break that first time, like they just
mm-hmm,
come like super easy. They're one of my card mates for the last tournament I've done. He even said that he just goes once you get that first initial one, they're very easy to get after. And I'm just like,
yeah,
I hope so because I could barely get one. So
mm-hmm.
I've gotten a
It
lot
took
of
me a
close
long time, but
I've
I
gotten a lot
finally
of
got,
close calls, but I just for some reason it's just disc god disc golf gods are just still not giving me a chance yet. I've gotten very
mm-hmm,
close though. I flashed a lot of chains and then I think the best one I've ever done was still on that tournament. It was that 300 foot. It was with my 2022 Ledgestone Raptor. I hit middle, and it just I guess it was just so much momentum that it just hit that middle pole, and it just popped right
mm-hmm.
out. And I mean, like, I still got some great reactions, but man, it just I don't know. I guess there was just too much on it, but yeah, that was still one of my best moments so far, but I still haven't gotten that ace yet. So,
Yeah, no, it was a lot of fun. I'm glad I was able to finally get that ace on that hole. Been wanting that one. But yeah, other than that, it was a good weekend though. I was able to go out and play. Hoping to film my next video on Sunday 'cause it's supposed to be 40 degrees.
mhm,
There's no Bears game, so I don't have to worry about that
nice.
because they play Monday.
Yeah,
So I should be able to get out there on Sunday
what's
and go
one
play it.
what is your hit list so far for your ace? Like what are the holes that are you still haven't done yet and you're trying to capture?
I want to ace four. That's the one along the road.
Okay.
Either forehand or huge hyzer route. I really want to get that one. Hole 14, the one with the bushes. In my last video, I was trying forward, but it's super windy, so everything was just going way left.
Yeah.
That one, hole 15, the first hole in the woods, that's very gettable if you just get that nice hyzer route.
I don't know,
I think
something
those are,
about that. That one's a mental game for me because I know that that hole is short, but for some reason, my first throw, it barely
mhm.
hits around that first initial turn,
Right,
and
right,
I don't know. I think it's just like it's weird. It's like that whole fence mentality. Like
right.
I don't know why
So
I have problems
reachable
with that
wise,
one.
I think those are the main ones because I've aced hole one, I've aced hole two, I aced hole six, I ace hole 11. I aced hole 20. I would like to 19. I would like to. That's the on the it's the pool hole.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
That'd be a
I,
fun ace to get
once you
to.
get your arm, I could see you doing the. I guess it's. I guess right when you get out of the um
Oh yeah, 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 yeah. That's
woods,
only 280, so I should be able to, but it's so deceiving because it actually is
sits on that little
elevated though,
hill.
and it
Yeah,
sits on a hill, so it plays a little bit more than the 280.
because I'm always pinned high, but I'm on the other side of the
Hmm.
other side of the hill. I get up there is just I don't know why, but trying to get it straight to it for some
It's
reason
like a
it just
magnet
dies.
to the right. It's either you throw it into the trees to the right when you get a hold of it, or it just dies and lands like 50 feet short.
Yeah, because like I was one of the I think the actually during Walnut Open, I was maybe 10, 15 feet away from that whole 11,
Hmm.
not whole 11, that tee that is going the other way right before you get into the woods, the one that was on your video for the first place. 14, I guess. Is that
Yep,
the yeah. That's awesome though. I saw your card and I was like, oh shoot, you finally got it.
I did. I finally got it. So that's exciting. There was no disc golf for you over the so far. I know you mentioned you haven't been able to get your video done either. For
Yeah,
anybody that's wondering, our next videos should technically be our challenge video,
yeah, it's
unless
going to be
something
for
comes up.
me.
But yeah.
Yeah, no, it's going to be for me. Yeah, it's um this weekend just kind of, Sarah's still kind of dealing with her sickness, so we're just kind
Hmm.
of like figuring that all out. Kind of just, you know, pumping medicine in her and then just kind of running around myself, just making sure everything's good with that. And then I really kind of took um I was really focusing on like other like video projects that I just wanted to get done. Um, and then actually myself, man, like I just been kind of like just taking like a little mental pause on things. So just kind of being at home, just kind of resting has been like one of my things that I've been doing. I have organized my disc, which has been great because I really needed that. So I've been letting my disc kind of breathe for once, and not actually in my bag. So they're all just kind of like organized. And then my bag's ready to go. I have it. I have all the discs that I found. I finally found the rainmakers. So we're all ready to
Hmm.
go. So now I just gotta actually go out and do it. It's been kind of weird because like for example, yesterday there was like a 90% chance of rain all today and it didn't rain once. So that's Florida for you. So yeah, I'm definitely trying to get out and do it. I just having to actually go out and do it. That's the thing. So I will, and I'll definitely be. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna force myself to do it. But I definitely want to release it on Monday. I think that'd be really good. So
Yeah, I'll get mine done Sunday, edit it Sunday, get it set up to release on Monday.
mm, no, I'm excited for that.
No, so am I. It'll be a fun challenge. I did pull out all my Discraft disc again though. So I can put it all back in my bag where it's supposed to be.
Is this your series that you're following with
The
a
disc
just
manufacturer,
manufacturer?
probably, but also just because that's my bag anyways.
Hmm.
That's just my natural bag is Discraft.
No, yeah, that'd be good.
But first, of course, I want to do the challenge video. But I don't really need my bag for that. I could just, bring like a shoulder strap bag with those couple discs or just carry them because there's only five of them. But I just wanted to get my bag set up again with my Discraft disc because obviously that's basically all I throw. There's a few exceptions, but 98% of my bag is all Discraft.
No, that's great. Yeah, I have Discraft, and then for me, it's a lot of Discmania. It's a nice blend of Discmania and Discraft and MVP.
Hmm.
Those are my top three manufacturers. But but yeah, man, let's kind of go into a certain topic. Let's talk about so I know a lot of people just in the disc golf world obviously know about this, but I feel like a lot of amateurs may not know. You know, I mean, I feel like we are in this certain culture that they definitely a lot of people do like to do this, which I totally get, but especially for a lot of collectors and just everything in general. But let's talk about so a lot of sales during the holidays, disc golf manufacturers tend to, or even yeah, manufacturers, companies, what do you want to call them? They tend to do a lot of mystery boxes, and
Mm-hmm.
uh, some of them have like they'll we'll throw four, we'll do five, we'll do 10, we'll do whatever. Like you have the Gyrapalooza or whatever it's called for the MVPs. You got of course the famous red box of the Discmania, um, and a lot of other manufacturers are now doing it too, or they'll do like we'll pick three or whatever. I think even Foundation's been doing it, but they're definitely more. Foundation's been giving you like actual good value on like certain ones. I'm not trying to nag on like the whole Discmania one. But because like I definitely have my take on this on like on mystery boxes in general. But at the same time, though, a lot of people do like those mystery-esque things of, I'm sure you've seen it where you have those collectible, like bag tags or even like um, collectible things like Pokemon cards, Pokemon packs, those are technically all mystery packs. You don't know what you're
Mm-hmm.
getting. You're opening them up and it's the whole high of like, you're spending X amount of money and you don't know what's
You're
in
looking
there
for those hits.
and you're
Yeah.
looking for the value in that.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's like, but what is the actual true value in the disc, like in the actual boxes that you're getting, especially for the ones that are like 10 or 11? I feel like maybe two of them are good values, but then like the eight of them are just random discs that personally I just feel they're just trying to move because it's not being moved on their shelves, or they're just trying to make space for more disc that they need in the future. So um how do you feel about Mr. Bucks? And actually, have you actually bought a?
I have never paid for a mystery box for the simple fact that I don't know what I'm getting. I would rather spend my money and spend that extra $20, $30 or whatever it is difference to make sure I get the exact disc I want compared to let's get lucky. And then the one stamp disc that's just for that box.
Yeah,
Like Discmania is Calvin Heimberg stamped Cloudbreaker. That run of it will only be in the mystery boxes, which is cool and all. Or I could just buy a normal Cloudbreaker and then buy the exact other Discmania disc I would want from that.
yeah, I agree with that.
Although I can't, it's weird though, because I would consider buying team mystery boxes. I haven't done it, but example, if you go to the Discraft store, and
Hmm.
I'm being a little biased here because I love Discraft,
Yeah,
but I would 100% buy because of the value of getting like a disc for free or two discs for free or whatever. I would 100% buy like a Yuli mystery box because I love
yeah,
Yuli. I love the stamp. So that's a little bias in there, but for the overall arching thing, though, I kind of tend to stay away from mystery boxes.
yeah. The larger ones, I feel like they definitely are just. kind of major fillers, and then you'll have one or two snags, and that's pretty much it. I don't know. I agree with you. I wish there could be more, like for example, like our players pack that we got for Grave Disc Off. It was, we could have been very descriptive of like,
Hmm.
I like, you know, I like purple tones, or like more of a cooler tone disc. So I like more purple blues and those deeper tones of that. And then, but then like, what do I throw? I throw, Discmania, I throw Discraft, I do whatever. I'm looking for mids, I'm looking for fairways. And so you're kind of customizing it, but it's not like you're, obviously we didn't get everything that we asked for, but they were able to try to work with getting it as much as possible. I feel like I wish they could do a like custom mystery box where it's like a, hey, spend $100, we'll give you like 7 or 8 discs or whatever. But out of those discs, kind of what you're looking for. And it's like, okay, well, I throw, only green and orange disc and maybe some pinks. And I'm looking for more like mid ranges and fairway drivers. And so it's like they
Hmm.
fill it up with those as opposed to, just random, discs that you're never going to use or throw. I mean, but at the same time, that's the whole point of it, is people are buying it and then they're going to just resell those discs that they want, or that they don't want, or whatever it is. They'll figure it out. So definitely, I'm kind of like on the fence of both. I mean, obviously when I was more in the beginning, obviously my first season I did buy a mystery box from Discmania, and I think out of that mystery box, I've maybe used 3 out of the 11 that I got.
Hmm.
And that's just because the other ones I just can't really. I have a disc that fits that slot that I am more, I feel it hits my game better, so I just
Right.
don't use it. So yeah, it's a little bit of both. So
Yeah, I would, like I said, mystery boxes has never been truly my main thing. I would prefer to just buy, unless I'm obviously buying something that's for sure like I need this
yeah, that makes sense.
team wise.
No, that makes sense. Um,
But we're talking about different pricing and stuff like that. The other thing, we talked about this for the podcast, might as well bring it up here. How ridiculously expensive disc golf bags are.
yeah,
I'm not a fan of that either. I get it because you want quality, you want something that can last you for a long time. As you said, you are going through the weather, your rain,
we just
snow,
talked about that.
dirt,
Yeah,
mud, everything else.
so they have to be a little bit more durable for those.
Exactly.
But
But at the same time, I'm not trying to spend, example, $400 on a pound bag for, as much as I love disc golf. Do you really need to spend that much money for a bag?
well, it's interesting because uh, most of the people that are endorsing those bags, if to my knowledge, they're getting them for free. So like, unless they are actually spending, or unless they are spending the money for them to endorse them, whatever. But like the people that have the lines of the grip or pound
Hmm.
or whatever, like I feel like they're receiving a bag. So obviously, yes, I know they're professionals. That's great and all, but you're also telling people like, hey, these are great bags or whatever. Like, yeah, I guarantee you, a pound bag is an amazing bag. But am I really going to spend $400 for a bag alone? Now, you're also
Hmm.
talking about, both of us played paintball. We know how expensive
That
that
it
game
is.
is.
Yeah, no, I
I
know.
I
That's
also played
the.
hockey, which is also another very
Hmm.
expensive sport. Depending on the gear that I had to buy and stuff like that too. Like, and like, I get it. like gear is always going to be expensive. I mean, you're even talking about me, a cinematographer who all my gear is very expensive. So it's like I get that. So like obviously I know disc golf is a free to play. The disc are fairly
I mean, they've gone up,
inexpensive,
but they've gone
but
up.
they've gone
They're
up.
like $20 a pop now.
But it's
So
like, but we're also it's like it's why are bags are that expensive just holding them? And I get it, they have to be more durable. And I totally get that. It's just for me, it's just that's the one thing that I'm
I think though that's why a lot of these bags are tend to be on sale a lot more now because they're not,
moving.
yeah,
Because
or
like
you're having to give some away in player packs or this or that because people are like, oh, I'll get that bag because I'll get it for my purchase of my buy-in that's $200, you know.
well, let me put it like this. If they had I maybe this maybe just be me, but if they were more affordable for just the normal consumers, I said consumer, I would be spending more money technically in the long run to get multiple different bags and be rotating them out throughout
Hmm.
each tournament depending on what tournament I'm playing. And because like I could literally sit here and I could tell you there are three bags currently on the market right now that I would love to buy. And if they were more affordable, I would buy them immediately and I would rotate them out and would use them and like would actually have, right now I only have one. Technically, I have two bags, but one bag is obviously at with you guys, my
Hmm.
first bag. Then my second, my actual bag, which is sitting right here, I have just a typical hand eye bag,
Hmm.
great, still in good condition, but I would definitely, I would like to, I would like a squash bag, I would like a grip bag even.
Hmm.
Um,
Just so
yeah, I mean, like, shoot, I mean, I would even do one of the pound bags or whatever, but like, I just,
I just can't justify spending that much money in a bag that's just holding my disc that I'm not throwing. Yeah, it's holding my disc, it's holding my gear, it's holding
yeah,
my stuff, but so can all the cheaper bags.
yeah. I mean, I get it, and that's the thing is like, I mean, it's just, I think it's just one of those things. I mean, obviously, in the long run, I'm sure people are going to talk about it, or people even will comment or whatever, saying like, well, it's the durability. It's just why complain when everything else is a little bit more affordable? And I get it, totally get
Nope,
it.
so do I. And
But
hey, listen, if a bag wants to prove if one of those companies, Squatch or Pound or any of you, Grip, want to send us bags to review it on our channels and
the
prove
reason
us
why it's worth that much,
why it's worth that much, go ahead. I'm not going to deny that, but it's just it's hard to justify spend. And I think it's also though, as you said, we were both paintballers at one time,
yeah,
so there's also a personal like disconnect here of the bag I had to carry all my paintball gear was not $400 or $500. It was $30.
it was a backpack.
It's a backpack type thing.
Yeah,
Durable though.
yeah.
$30 durable backpack.
And we're getting paint all over ourselves, and our guns are getting paint all over
But
ourselves, and
this is where the disconnect is though. I spent $30 for a dye paintball bag, but then what I'm actually using gear wise, my paintball markers were all over $1,000.
mm,
My hopper, which holds the paintballs for anybody that doesn't know paintball, is $150. The CO2 tanks like 100 or not CO2, the compressed air tanks are $150 or so.
mhm.
Pants probably I can't even remember how much pants we're going for.
Oh yeah, the slider pans are
The
still
slide pit.
you're still looking at around 90 to 150
90,
bucks, depending
yep,
on,
yep. And
and then
then
also depending on what brand they are. If you're getting
brand.
one of
So
those
I had
actual bands,
Empire, yep. And
you got
then
the jerseys,
your,
which are going to be the typical jersey price is
yep.
150
And
bucks.
then you had your
Your
pod
mask,
holders were masks could vary anywhere from 50 to 100 bucks,
but depending
depending on
because
which
a lot of
mask.
people like the
150, just
fans.
depends. And then
Mine had a fan in it.
the cheapest thing was your pod holders, which are about 30 bucks. But this is where I spent my money on is gear I'm using out on the field, using like you actually in my hands playing. I get paintball bag is kind of gear because it's holding your stuff, but you pick up the bag, you put it down. But what I'm using is the disc. What I'm using is my mini, which my mini sits in my pocket. There's nothing else other than holding my water bottle and my disc. There's no other
Yeah.
purpose of my bag other than holding my stuff for me. And
Oh
that's
yeah.
I think that's where the massive disconnect is for me is coming from paintball
Yeah.
to okay, and paintball bags had water holders. They had a cell phone patch. They had extra zippers to put other stuff in. It's
Yeah.
not like it's nothing new that no other bag that a disc golf bag did that a paintball bag doesn't. And they were carrying a lot more heavier, more expensive tools. Like I said, I'm never gonna fit $1,000 plus in my disc golf bag with all my disc and stuff. There's nothing in my bag that's worth that much money, except maybe my cell phone, which isn't
No,
even the disc golf related part.
I
Whereas
agree.
my paintball bag was carrying like $2,000 almost worth of paintball stuff. And
No,
that's all
yeah.
it was for, but it was 30 bucks. And I think
Yeah.
that's where the big disconnect is for me for paintball bags and stuff like that compared to disc golf bags.
Yeah, I mean like I said though, like you are technically you're picking it up, you're putting it down just in multiple various areas, there's been times where I had to put it, on dirt. I've been putting it on things and so but that's the problem is it's like this bag that let's just say I do get a squash bag or even a pound bag, like I'm gonna be honest, like I'm spending all that money for a $400 bag. I don't really want to put a $400 bag in a pile of mud. you know like that's just
Right.
I'm gonna be completely
Hmm.
honest, like I don't want to do that. Like I'm gonna have to I'm gonna have to now have somebody caddy for me, but I'm not gonna have someone force for me to caddy for me for a MA3 tournament. That
Hmm.
doesn't make sense. So it's just like I've never really understood that amount of money for a certain bag, and like I might be missing the target here. I don't know why the reason is or whatever, but I don't want to I don't want
And
to
I'm not against if you want to
yeah.
spend the money, go for it. I'm not against for anybody spending money on bags like that, carts or anything else. But I
Carson, a whole
personally,
other story.
I mean, carts are nice. Not being having to being able to sit and stuff like that. Tournament wise, they're nice, but
Yeah, but you're
I
spending
don't.
an extra hundred. You're spending an extra $100 just to be able to have the royalty of sitting on something.
Yep, yep.
That's
I'm
it.
not. Yeah, I'm not. Like
That's
I said,
literally like that's a whole nother thing that we
coming
haven't.
from. Like I said, I think it's just a disconnect coming from paintball, where it's the
Yeah,
opposite. The expensive gear was with the stuff that I
yeah.
used, and then just what I traveled to carry my gear was a simple 30 bucks, 40 bucks, whatever it is.
Oh yeah.
And that's why, honestly, my next bag is probably going to be shout out to them an Atlas bag. They're 88 bucks and
Hmm.
they're top notch quality and a lot of room and everything else.
Yeah, no, I agree. I've definitely the reason why I haven't pulled the trigger on Atlas bag is just a complete opposite reasoning, and that's just because I'm just I'm just particular on my color choice,
Hmm.
and I haven't really found one that I was like overly obsessed with the color yet. The closest one was the Everglaze or Everglade or whatever the
Hmm.
recent one that just came out. But even then, though, I just gotta wait until there's one that I really like, and I will be able to be like, oh, this is the exact one I want. But yeah, I think my next bag is definitely going to be an Atlas bag, and Yeah, shout out to them making affordable bags, and I feel like they're durable, and I really haven't seen any complaints about them. And um, we're not endorsed by them at whatsoever. I just showed you guys I have a hand eye bag. My hand eye bag is
Hmm.
great. The only problem that I had was I think I spent around 120 bucks for it, and not even 45 minutes of having it, one of the zippers broke. And that was
Hmm.
not me just doing whatever. It just, I guess it was just off the track for some reason. So I don't know if it's just highly produced or whatever. And it is what it is. But um, I love it. Like if I have to rate this bag, I would give it easily a 7 out of 10. You know, the only reason why I'm giving it that low is because my zipper just broke 45 minutes of having it. But other than that, though, ton of space, ton of storage, tons of all of it. Like I'll be able to carry as much as I want, you know. But yeah, I just for some reason I just can't see myself spending $300-400 for a bag. The highest I would go is maybe 150.
Right.
And even then that's still a lot. So
Yeah, I'm not, like I said, that's where the big disconnect is for me, but Atlas bag is probably my next bag. And I do want to get an Atlas bag too, just for the fact that one, it's affordable. Two, it's not technically like with any manufacturer itself. So,
I'm a big person with that too. Especially for me, I'm trying to get to the point where I don't really want to promote too much. I mean, I really want to. The only thing I want to focus on is like I was like my jerseys from Gravity. I want to focus on um representing Gravity Disc Golf, but I really want to stay away from anything else unless I get picked up by somebody. Like if
mhm.
and I wants to contact me tomorrow and be
But
like,
that, yeah,
"Hey,
like I said, if Discraft Underground wants to
yeah,
contact me tomorrow,
grip,
give me that
squash,"
call,
like yeah,
or a bag company, or Castaplat, any of you.
I would
But still,
gladly support you
this is,
guys.
yes,
Mhm.
and sponsor, I would gladly love to talk to you daily or weekly on the podcast about stuff that you're making and everything else. There's a lot that you could do with that, with branding to try to get more money into that manufacturer and stuff like
Yeah.
that. But an Atlas bag example can allow me to do that. I can buy a patch that's for that specific sponsor manufacturer,
Hmm.
toss it on an Atlas bag, I'm good to go, But Atlas, the bag itself though is open to anything.
Exactly. I agree with that. Alrighty. I think we hit that with the bag. Um, Definitely we had some interesting still haven't really had any movements yet besides the whole Climo.
Yep, the
Um,
Ken Climo thing is quite interesting. Of course, don't believe the full extent of it. I think obviously the Discraft thing is, which by the way, go check out last week's podcast. I talked about it.
yeah,
I talked about imagining Discraft doing it again, taking another high figure in the disc golf world and taking him on their team,
yeah,
coming out, producing his line of disc, which just think about that. The dormanted KC line that Innova that hasn't been pushing too much is now going to be out in the open, but for Discraft. It's going to be amazing. But
I'm excited to
apparently,
see what he will do there.
yeah,
But
apparently he signed a 200,000 plus year deal with this, that was his deal. But of course, it may not be exactly like that, and the details in the article that was produced may not be 100% true because you got to think he can't say anything till January. He's not signing anything till January. And I'm sure things that are being said technically could probably get anybody that said anything in big trouble for saying something because a lot of these things, if done properly, are NDAs and stuff. You're not
yeah,
supposed to say anything. You're not supposed to say how much money it was. You're not supposed to say that.
oh, trust me,
So
I
it
know
may be
that.
fishing a lot, you know. So don't take every word of it. But I think the whole Discraft thing is probably happening. I'm like 98% sure that part is
We'll definitely
going to
see.
happen. Yeah.
I'm curious of what their thoughts are for it. If it's going to be just more like he's going to be representing, just wearing the apparel, and he's going to do more commentary. Obviously, I don't see him touring anymore.
No,
Um,
no.
um,
It's content. Like, what better way to say, all right, Ken, we're signing you in here because this is what it's going to have to be. We're signing you in here. We're going to run your line of disc, but for our YouTube channel, for Instagram or anything else, we're going to need such and such amount of content from you per month advertising this for
yeah,
us.
100%.
And that's what it's going to be. That's 100% what it's going to be. It's going to be podcasts. It's going to be content. It's going to be strictly on that side. But
Commentating with Discraft stuff on.
you have to do this for us though, and we will
Hmm.
pay you, you know,
Yeah, no.
because there's no way that you pay him and then he just sits back like he's been. And he wants to get back into the disc golf world. And what
Well,
better way to do that?
for them to already have some big contracts already under their belts, and for them to potentially give him X amount of whatever they're planning on, we don't know. I don't really know the numbers. Obviously we've seen the 200,000 kind of be floating around, but I just, whatever it is in general, obviously they have room and a cap that they're able to proceed with it, and that's great for them because they have ton of players already that they have under their house, and adding another freaking legend
Mm-hmm.
under their belt is going to be really interesting to see what they're going to do. Makes me think of like, in the future, what is Calvin Heimberg going to be doing? Like, because we still don't know what he's making with Enova. And
Mm-hmm.
I just know, just by just every other people that they've talked about, that they don't really pay as good to their players than most places. I mean, I don't know how true that is, obviously, but I mean, obviously, Heimberg is comfortable enough to stay, so which is cool, and that's
Mm-hmm.
awesome. And I'm not dissing on Innova because I love Innova. There's a lot of disc there that I love to throw, but it's definitely interesting though that a lot of players do move, and that's one of their biggest things that they talk about is the pay that they
I
received, or anything, or even support.
Yeah,
So,
especially because I am curious about the fact that uh, I know Alexis Manahando did just announce too as that she had a 1 year extension with Discraft, so that's good.
mhm.
But I know Valerie's done this season. You know, her contract is up this year. Um, Paige Pierce is next year. You have Holland Hanley, which is next year. I know that Chris Clemens, Hannah are both up this year. Let's see here. I'm scrolling down. I don't have the subscription for
Isn't
Multi-World. This is where I'm getting it all.
isn't
Anthony
Brody?
Barella, Anthony Barella, Ezra Aderhold, Corey Ellis, Brody Smith. All of their contracts are all up this year. So there's quite a bit of Discraft contracts up this year.
Yeah.
Adam Hammis is another one up this year.
They yeah. So
So there's a
it's
lot that they're going to
interesting.
have to work out.
Well, I mean, obviously most of them are probably doing whatever, because I don't think, because Brody would mention, he seemed like in most of his,
He's in contract talks right now,
he
obviously.
yeah. I think it's kind of more like a I move disc, even though I don't,
Oh, he's 100%. He's going to
he's
tour.
good,
He's going to tour what he can. He's going to play whatever he wants to play,
but he moves disc. That's
but he
all.
moves disc
That's the
and
thing
he
is
makes some money.
that's the only thing is, like, honestly, as
Mm,
as people who do things like, even like Simon Lizotte, like, yeah, there's a couple times that he's won, and like that's great and all and stuff like that. But for him to get that certain deal with MVP, they're not worried about it because they're going to get their ROI back because he moves disc. Same thing with Eagle. Eagle's injured, he's not playing the best, whatever, but the dude moves disc. Like,
hmm
if you have people that are very influence in that social media content, that's when you're gonna start popping off and blowing up things. Like that's the difference is like a lot of the people that really don't understand is like, yeah, you could be professional and stuff like that, but it all comes down to the line of what type of character are you bringing in this world, and can you actually create a like a fan base that can follow you and actually do things. Like you don't have to be the best player, but you still can make a lot of money because
Hmm.
you're moving content, you're moving, you know, actual product. And if you are able to do that, the business are going to immediately come to you and be like, this is perfect because technically you're doing this, all these ads for us for free, but you're getting the benefits of it, you know, and that's the point of it. And a lot of these contracts, the reason why most of them are getting don't even make it to their end of their contract or they're getting removed quicker is because I feel a lot of the players are getting a little bit too comfortable where they're not doing anything and they're not following through of what the actual contract says, and they're are not doing what they said they were going to do of like, oh yeah, yeah, I'll make the the 3 videos a month for you guys and promote you guys and I'll do this whatever. They're not like a lot of people are not, they don't have the social media output on it,
Yeah,
and
and
that
this is something like we have their weekly podcast. We have I'm trying to get better at the YouTube game content wise,
well
stuff like
likewise.
that. League, I run leagues.
Yeah.
I'm involved with a lot of stuff in the community, and this thing I'm continuing to build. So when I fill out my resumes and I try to send in information, it's not just about
Playing.
playing, but it's not just about, hey, I want to be like example. I would love nothing more to represent Discraft Underground and Discraft and be a part of that team so they can help me continue to grow the community here.
Yeah.
But it's not just about that, it's also what I can do for them. It's about me
Hmm.
getting people in the area to throw more Discraft. It's me getting the community here and events to bring disc in to purchase from Discraft.
Yeah.
I need to make them money as well, even though Discraft obviously does well themselves, but just to bring a whole other community here
Hmm.
to throw more Discraft, have more interest in Discraft, that's what I can do back for them. So it's
Yeah.
not just like, oh, I need you or I want you to sponsor me, be a part of the team, so that way I can say, oh, I'm with this team and they're giving me this, but it's about a partnership. What can I also do for them?
Yeah.
And that's a big key. And
Bringing
that's what I'm
value.
trying to get better. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to get better at.
Yeah, and that's the thing is like you just want to bring value to a company and
Especially a
try to
company
help.
that you really enjoy and stuff.
Exactly. And that's the thing is, and that's the best part. But yeah, it's just that's the name of the game. And like this sport is still a very niche sport. It's just like I do believe that we've had a cool wave of course 2020. We brought a lot of eyes on it. It's still, you know, it's just still new, still fresh. It's just very difficult. I'm a big thing of like it's very difficult to really sell what really disc golf is. It's hard to really explain of like, oh, it's like golf but with frisbees, and it's just like, oh, so you're just throwing a frisbee out in a field to a basket, and it's just like it's very difficult to really pitch to somebody that really doesn't understand. Because you tell me when you guys told me about disc golf, I was like, wait, we're playing disc golf but with frisbees, and you guys are like, yeah. I was just like, what's the point of this? Like, so you're telling me to
Hmm.
throw this frisbee in the field as close as I possibly can to this basket. You guys are like, yeah. I'm like, okay. And so I tried it, and like, after 1 or 2 holes, I'm just like, oh, like, okay, and I actually get this, and it
Hmm.
it was fun, and like, and it definitely, fueled a fire of enjoying it. And now I'm sitting here and creating podcasts and promoting, stuff and doing tournaments and all that good stuff. And it's just like, and that's what happens. And I know that not everyone is not everybody's cup of tea, obviously, a lot of people don't like golf, the people like playing golf, but people don't like watching golf, it's because it's just a whole nother factor on it. And it's just the same thing, it disc golf is really fun to play. There's a lot of disc golfers that just play, but they don't know. They don't. There's disc golfers I found it playing that they don't know what U disc is. They don't know that there's an actual, professional world out there. They
Hmm.
just want to play disc. They just want to play disc golf, and that's all they see it as. They just see it as you know, I'm just chilling with my friends, grabbing a couple, drinks or whatever, and we're just out in this park throwing some plastic. That's all they know about.
Yeah, there's some plastic, especially what's this right here? Discraft. No, I also you bring up the fact of it being a niche sport, and I agree. Did you happen to listen to the off-season podcast or the Tour Life podcast last week?
No.
Brody Smith brought up the fact that he's done a full circle and is all in on the team aspect of the sport because it's a very single type of sport, of course, just like golf. Like, yeah, you're all represented by a manufacturer,
So he's saying now he
but
gets the whole
now though because he's always looked at it as a
individual.
very individual sport,
Yeah.
which it is. It is, truthfully, it is. But he's wrapped around completely full circle. He mentioned about the fact that now he's saying, I think disc golf should just go all in on the team aspect of it and have an actual ending where
Is it
the highest
manufactured? Yeah.
manufacturer cup gets the bonus. Like every manufacturer, the sponsors say, like at the end of the year, there's $5 million on a line.
Yeah.
Whoever gets it, Discraft gets 3 million. You guys get 2 million to split up around to your team.
Mm,
7 MPO players, 5 MPO player team. Like that's your
yeah.
main lineup. Because, like you said, I can be in the room, like we get an Airbnb and I'm with Goose and I'm with, Ezra and stuff like that. And they come in. I had a shitty round. They come in, talk about how much of a good round they had. I don't care what you guys did. That does nothing for me. But like, let's say there's an actual point scale thing and
Mm,
they come in and talk about how good they run. I'm going to be like, yo, thank you for doing this. I'm having a bad day. This is awesome. I'm so glad you guys are playing so well because
yeah.
it's very important at the end of you're fighting for something. You're playing for something. You're playing for money. What do you think about that? Like the act, and especially because think of the fan side of it, right? Think of us, the casuals. What do most people follow? They follow the players, and then they follow like they are like die hard on the company, like
Yeah.
gyronauts. Think of how die hard gy- gyronauts are with MVP. They live by MVP. So imagine them rooting for a team. They already root for MVP, obviously, but now think of how much they're going to be rooting for that in general. Think of the rivalries that will happen.
Yeah.
Discraft versus MVP, Discraft versus Discmania. Like, oh, these two have been battling each other. Discraft won at or even Discmania these days because of the young team. Let's say Discmania wins 3 times in a row. Discraft finishes second really closely. Think of the buildup of rivalries. Like, oh, we have Gannon Burr versus Paul McBeth or Gannon versus AB, head to head right now. Winner takes all for their manufacturer cup as well. Think of how much more important that tournament also becomes. Like, it's just insane to really think about full on team aspect of it. And it's still going to be, of course, each event will still be
Mm,
nothing changes. Nothing changes. You're still going to have your major champion and everything else. You're still going to have everything else stays the same. Tournament stays exactly the same, but you're actually going to get points based off your lineup. And think of like they mentioned, Brody mentioned this. Think of the pre-tournament conferences, right? They're extremely boring. They all
yeah.
say the same thing. Oh, I came out here, I practiced, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
think of like Ulibarri, like this is an example he put up. He's the team captain. He goes up there to talk, and they say, "Hey, listen, you're not going to be playing your third best player as part of the main scores here. Why is that? Oh, he's been struggling in the last few events. He's has an injury. Like, think of the storylines that could build from that too, because like you could only count like seven of your players. You know what I mean? You're not
Mhm.
counting the whole Discraft team, but you're counting a certain seven or a certain five. You know what I mean?
But it
And so
aligns
you would
with,
have to
yeah,
make lineups.
and it aligns with sports that are happening right now. The same
Exactly.
thing with hockey, basketball. I mean, like think about it with basketball. There's like 20 or 25 people on the sidelines, but there's only going to be five on the course or on
Hmm.
the court. Like like it's 5v5 for them. And so it's like same thing with just, any other sports related. You only have X amount of players on the field, but then you have other teammates that are just waiting for subs or whatever. So it's the same thing of like, if somebody's playing bad, they're going to get subbed out, or, somebody gets injured or somebody's not having a good day or somebody is having a good day, just, I totally get that. And it's different. I think if I'm not mistaken, because I don't really follow it, I believe that's what the college
The college basically does that
series
now.
does, that where
Yeah, they do it already.
it's like a four
Hmm.
man squad,
They
and
already do
they
that.
they do individuals obviously, which they representing. That's the thing though, they're representing the school, so it's like if the
Yeah,
school wins, then it's whatever. But they,
but this is where you're representing Discraft. You know what I
yeah,
mean? You're representing Casper. You're representing Dynamic Dish. You're representing Latitude. You know what I mean? Like
it's
there's actual
very like
representations.
Gannon wins is like, oh, Gannon win. It's not like, oh, Gan- Gannon won, Discmania also won, and
Yep.
it's like they're not really like seeing it. I do kind of get that though, because it's like I really focus on the people who don't do well. So like it's like, is it the person or is it the disc? For
Hmm.
example, when Nicola Castro moved to Lone Star and like he's hasn't been doing well, it's like, is it actually Nicola Castro or is it Lone Star Plastic? Like I've always compared to the people who do well or do, that do well or who like don't do well at all, what are they throwing?
Hmm.
And I'm not gonna be honest. I compare that to it. I'm not saying like, oh, if you just throw this one disc or whatever, this manufacturer, you're gonna play better. I'm not saying that. I'm
Hmm.
just saying though, mentally I do that. It's the same thing with golf. It's like, you have this person here that has clubs from Taylor, but then all of a sudden you have clubs from Callaway. It's
Yeah,
like,
and nobody cares about that in golf though.
no, nobody cares about that. But if the guy just does this huge drive with a Callaway club, immediately everyone's doing whatever. Same thing with uh you know James Conrad with the
But
holy shot.
envy. Hmm.
Once he made that shot, everyone got an envy because immensely there is like, I'm gonna be one of these days, I'm gonna be 280 something feet out and I'm
Hmm.
just gonna cash it in immediately. Like
Yep.
everyone thinks they're gonna do it
Yep.
just because they have the
And
disc.
and like I said, fans are so much into manufacturers and so obsessed about who's going to be playing for what team in the off season, like we talk about,
Yeah.
that why not just go all in on it? And like I said, if you don't listen to Tour Life or you haven't listened to Tour Life or the off season podcast, go over and listen to them. This is not my idea. Like I said, again, it's all Brody Smith. He brought it up. He went full
We just
circle.
didn't have Roy Smith on.
Go check it all out. Yeah, yeah, exactly.
just
But
just
I
email him.
I completely am down for that. And I completely agree. As a fan from the outside, not part of the
Yeah.
tour, I get what he's saying. I
Yeah.
root. So from somebody that, like I said, last podcast, not wasn't a fan of Discraft because I didn't understand disc back then. And now I have such a love for it. Who are some of my favorite players? Yuli, Brody, Paul. a lot of Discraft members are on that list. Who am I ending up rooting for? Oh, I want to see Discraft win a lot. Why not just go all in on that then? You know what I mean? Like, I'm just going to be a Discraft guy. I'm going to root for
If not, they need to switch like the all-star and just make it like a 2 or 3
But they
week.
can. They can. Like, if you go all in on this, you can have your event of here's your
Yeah,
manufacturer event. You're going to have your
swap it out.
all-star
Yeah.
weekend of Discraft versus Discmania versus
Hmm.
Innova versus Latitude, such and such. And now you're playing, we're gonna have, you know, Gannon punting for Discmania versus in this matchup, Gannon versus AB in this punt matchup. Owen versus
Yeah.
Kristen Lott in this matchup. You're
No,
gonna have
Kristen's not.
manufacturer versus manufacturer,
Yeah,
not just player versus
I
player
agree with
versus
that.
player. So it'll
No,
be a
it.
lot of
I
fun.
would like to see that. It brings in more of the whole sports factor, and also it
Hmm.
helps kind of get out of that whole niche mentality of like now
And
people can compare it to the basketball, the baseball, the
mhm.
football, the
And
hockey,
that's what it is. It's
soccer.
about, I think people would be more interested in it. I think people would have more eyes on it if you did more of the sports aspect of it because
What?
you're going to be
Yeah.
cheering for an actual team and not just, you know,
What it's hard is it's the name. It's immediately we have the name golf in the name
hmm
where they think that we need to make it as golf, and
hmm
golf is very individual, and it's not, you don't hear whoever wins and is all of a sudden it's like, oh, um Sheffley won, but it's like, and Callaway won. Like you don't hear like, oh, Callaway clubs just won again, blah blah blah. Like no, they don't. You don't hear that. It's literally just the factor of that individual. Like, oh, Tiger Woods won again. He is your new master, or whatever. And it's just like, okay, I just think we need to get out of the golf mentality and make it more into that, you know, and it will definitely help push
If
it.
I'm not mistaken, I think F1 has that. Even though they're a racing group, I
Well, yeah,
think
it's it's
F1
it's Red
has
Bull.
it's Red Bull. Yeah. So you have the
It's
F1,
everyone hates Red
the
Bull
team.
because of
Yeah,
Max.
yeah. But that team
It's
by
still
the end of the
individual.
season,
Yeah,
it's still individual,
but it's the Red Bull team.
but it's a Red Bull team and they all benefit from it.
No, it is true. It's yes, Max wins, but it's like it's individually he's winning that. You can't take that. Can't take his championships away from him. But
No.
it's the Red Bull team that won.
hmm
It's
Yeah,
the same thing.
exactly.
It's the same thing with back then. The whole Ford versus Ferrari situation. It's like you have the Ferrari team. You have the
hmm
Hyundai team. You have the Toyota team. And it's just you have those teams, but it's racers representing the teams. So yeah, no, I agree. I think that would be different. I think it'll help the individuality out. We need more, for me as a person who does creative for narratives and like creating stories for companies and stuff like that. We need more storylines.
hmm
And I really think we need to get out of this whole mentality of um like for amateurs, obviously being like loving on them, being very, very welcoming and inviting to them. Absolutely. I think we need it. But in pros, I'm really kind of tired of this whole like this friendship thing of like it's I don't see them running and charging when Kristen Lott wins.
hmm
But when Missy Gannon wins, there's 50 people running at her and cheering her on and throwing, the shaving cream and
Well, think of
champagne and stuff like that. Like,
you
I'm
add this
tired of
team.
this whole like. Now, if it was a team thing, that's fine, but it's friendship though. It's the
It
friendship
is. It
mentality,
is.
and it's more like I'm just friends with her, so I'm gonna be super excited.
We
But then this other person who wins, it's like, well, there's nobody on Latitude, so it's like, okay, and it's just like that doesn't make sense though. It's just that's the one thing
we
is
need. like I said, I think this is why disc golf
We need more
needs
villains.
that.
We
Yeah,
need more
and we need that
characters.
team. We need that team mentality then, because think of, like I said, with the team mentality, you're gonna be rooting harder for now for your teammates.
Yeah.
You're not gonna care what the other teams are doing. You're gonna be rooting
Yeah.
against them. And I think that would be massive.
I think that would be great. I could definitely see that. I like
Hmm.
that idea.
They should go all in on that.
I mean, it's the same way. I mean that, and then also I think it'd be great. Um, yeah, I just think that they will need it. They don't have to change anything. They don't have to structure anything different. It's
No,
we
nothing
need.
is. It's just
I
you're
think
gonna
it just.
be adding
I don't know
money on the
why we
side.
don't see that already, where it says, especially for, you know, I don't know why we don't see it on the leaderboards where it says like
Hmm.
Gannon Burr right by his name, Discmania, Paul Macbeth, Discraft, Brody Smith,
Hmm.
Discraft. You know, yeah, I don't know why we don't have that because it's like
I,
I know they're wearing jerseys and stuff, but it's like they're technically on
I
they're
mean,
representing them.
even like NASCAR is a very individual sport, but you see the name and you see a Chevy symbol. You see a name, you see a Ford symbol. You see this, you
Exactly.
see a Toyota symbol. They, like I said, I think it'd be really good for disc golf to take Birdie's idea and run with it
Yeah,
because I think it would create a lot more storylines. It would create so much for the
we
sport
need it.
itself. Hmm.
Because like I'm not gonna lie, I don't watch any of the press conferences of them, like
Oh,
the
I
four
don't either.
hours of
They're
them doing
boring.
whatever, because it's boring.
Yeah.
It's the same stuff all over again. How are you feeling? What are you doing differently? What is this and
Hmm.
that? Blah blah blah. No, I want to hear like what you said. Like, yo, Yuli, why are you sitting out? Why is Brody Smith not playing? Well, you know, right now he's not a good sportsman person. Like he threw his bag last weekend. Now I'm sending him out to just show a reason that he can't act like that. Just something like that. Like like just color, more color, creative stories to enhance this. Like I want I want that feel. I want the rivalry. I want I want to get to the point where we have the Tom Brady of disc golf, where it's that mentality, or even Patrick Mahomes right now, where like he's like the new Tom Brady, where it's like everybody hates him. Well, why do you really hate
Hmm.
him? Well, he just keeps winning. And it's like, well, what's more to it? Like I want that here. Like, I mean, I guess we did have it. I guess we had it. The Paul Macbeth, a lot of people hate him because of that. I guess we had they're obviously we have some people that are like that, but I want more of that. I want more fans to get more aggressive with their people that they like.
Hmm.
I think I think it's good. But don't cough while people are putting and try and distract them and stuff. That I don't like that. That is one thing I
Right.
don't like. Be classy about the hatred.
Yeah. I mean, they're still gonna, like I said, nothing else is gonna change. That's still a
Yeah.
courtesy thing.
Yeah.
But just there's a lot more rivalries that would be, created,
Yeah.
villains. Imagine during this offseason stuff, right?
Yeah.
Before we do stop the podcast, let's just talk about this for a second. Think of this offseason. Think of Anthony Barella, right? Young, who started out super hot last year, beloved by a lot of people and beloved by a lot of Discraft people, fans. Imagine him saying, I like Discraft, I love you guys, but I'm going to switch over to Innova, right?
Yeah.
Now, and if the team aspect is already there,
Yeah.
that's like a traitor. You know what I mean? That creates a whole new thing. Like, oh God, we
Mm-hmm.
lost AB. You know what I mean? Like,
British jerseys.
yeah,
Yeah.
but that's
No, I get it.
you create stories.
Like LeBron James when he left.
Yeah.
He,
God,
burning his jerseys.
MJ still the GOAT.
Yeah.
Forever will be the
That's a
GOAT.
whole nother thing.
Yeah.
But anyways, um, I just I agree. I think that would be completely different. You don't have to change anything at all.
Mm-mm.
The only thing that you just need to add is I think you just need to take out the All-Star week, make it like 2 or 3 weeks. Like it's a nice little preempt where it's like a exposition matches where it's a manufacturer, like you call it manufacturer cup or something, and
Hmm.
it's 2 or 3 weekends. You just pick a couple good spots, to play, and whoever takes it wins the cup for that manufacturer, and then you start the season. I think that'd be fun. But then you just keep it rolling though. You still have that mentality of like, it's it's a point driven thing. I think Foundation's done that before where they've the player who wins, they win like a certain point for the manufacturer, and they have like a kind of like a manufacturer line of like who's winning. I
Hmm.
think we need to have that, in the professional world where it's like each time Gambler wins, he's winning points for Discmania. So that's at the very end who wins the trophy, or who wins the top manufacturer of the year. That is what's going to move disc. Because if one single shot could move thousands of disc, if people who are influencers can move disc, why not create a method to promote these manufacturers more by doing a point system for them? And
Hmm.
because like I even said it, like I've called Discraft the Apple of companies. Like a lot of people like it. And it's like, and that's not dissing on them at all. I'm just saying like everybody has an iPhone, like an iPhone. Like
Hmm.
everyone's really particular on that. And when they're, as people who are iPhone users or Apple users, they are die-hard fans. Like for me, I only work off of Macs. I will not work off of a PC. I hate editing videos on a PC. And there I obviously have my reasonings behind it, but
Hmm.
I prefer working on a Mac. And it's just the same thing. Like I'm a diehard Mac user. I love my Apple products. And so it's just like same thing. You have your diehard, like you said, MVP, you have your diehard Discrafts even. You have your diehard Discmania. It's a little bit harder for me because obviously I throw a mix bag, but you still could make it happen. I still think it's good to have those fan base because that's the whole point of it is we are sports. All I know, dude, is I'm excited that they're finally bringing in gambling. That's a whole other thing. We'll talk about that next week. That's
Hmm.
going to be kind of a nice little tease. We'll talk about that next year. They're bringing in gambling for, um, not gambling. Well, you know what I'm talking about. Like you could now,
Well, it's gambling.
yeah, gambling on things with the professionals for disc golf. I'm excited about that. Obviously, I mean, sports. I feel like you should be able to do that. I'm excited for them to bring it in. Because I would love to do that myself. But yeah, it's other than that, which that would be a cool segment. Every single week, I'll put a little bit of money here and there for whatever, and we'll just see what
Hmm.
happens. And just use that money only. But other than that, that's a little teaser we'll talk about next week. And but other than that, I think that's pretty much it. I think that wraps it up.
Yep.
So it's going to be Discraft versus Discmania because that is who we are. But other than that, guys, hope you guys have a great day. We'll see you guys again. And we're excited for you guys to talk about it next week. I'll see you guys later. Discmania. I'll see you guys.